Karen is an author and writing coach. She's a 4 times published author, former teacher, and assistant head teacher of 20 years. Karen now runs her own writing, coaching, and publishing business, through which she's able to continue to pursue her passion for writing and all things bookish. Karen is a strong advocate for following your dreams and playing to your own unique strengths. Strongly believes that in life and education especially, one size should not fit all. Karen Stanley.
I vividly remember the time that I realised I was actually a single parent, having gone through the whole nasty, horrible, messy, I don't need to describe that because we've all got our own story, it seems, this afternoon. It's pretty toxic, it was pretty horrible. And I remember sitting in my flat, if you can call it that. It looked a bit more like a crack den, actually. But I sat on a sofa bed, which was also my bed and my sofa and the place where I ate my dinner, looking at my really, you know, when the tellies were like that big at the back that I'd inherited from somewhere. My son was asleep in his bedroom with the only radiator that we had and the water running down the walls. I think I'm going to make you all cry soon. And I was sitting in my coat in front of the gas fire, and it was the 12th of December, 1995. And I thought, I won't say what I thought because there are children here, but I thought, well, this isn't really great, is it? And I cried for quite a long time and then thought, well, I really need to sort myself out. I had been to education. I'd gone to hairdressing college, mainly because my mum was terrible at doing hair. So, and then I was just left thinking, I don't really know what to do, but I know I need to do something a bit more than this. So I went to college and I got a degree. I did a business studies in economics, mainly because I didn't really know what else to do. It was really boring. But then after I'd done that for 4 years, I thought, well, what am I going to do now? And I went to train to be a teacher. And I taught up in London, all in inner London, sort of quite deprived areas, so I met lots of colourful little characters, and I qualified, and I did that for about 20 years, and I became an assistant head. I did a master's in environmental conservation. I did loads of stuff, and I remember it being, you know, quite difficult. At 6:30 every morning, I would wrap my son in a blanket, run round to my neighbour's house, chuck him on the sofa, drive to London, go to my mum's, pick him up. I look back on that year, and I'm not quite sure how I lived. And then in the weekends I would go to the library and study, and then I worked in the pub, and I mean, it was just carnage. But I can honestly say that I don't regret a single moment of it, and I will sort of say my top tip to you now. 1, don't be afraid to get up and do what you want to do, because life gives you lemons and the lemonade, you know what I mean, anyway, something to do with lemons and lemonade. But you know, you can do anything that you set your mind to. I never ever once didn't think that I would get my degree, because it wasn't really any alternative. So I didn't think, I'm not going to do this. The other thing I would say to you is, I never really saw myself as a bit of a, you know, sad case, because I actually loved everything about being a mum. My son's 31 now. He's married. He's got 2 lovely children, one of whom is a stepchild. And I actually could not be prouder of the way he's raised that boy, because his dad's crap. So, and I think, do you know what? That's my boy. My boy's been raised by someone who showed him how to be a parent. And the relationship I had was so toxic. Whatever you take away from today, one great parent is better than 2 toxic ones, or in a relationship. I mean, as a teacher, I've seen so many kids who are involved in this weird game of chess where the kid goes backwards and forwards and they're sent all these messages, and it's just vile, it's horrible. So if you, and it's not easy to leave, I'm not saying it's easy, but I never ever look back and don't think, you know, I wish his dad well. I don't really have an opinion anymore, but I don't regret it for a second, because he's actually a better dad than he ever would have been, because he had me to do everything. So he had to actually step up. And I enjoyed Ben's childhood because I had him to myself. I was quite glad to get rid of him, to be honest. And I had a really great time. And he was, the other thing I would say to you, surround yourself with good people. I always say, you know, Jungle Book, when Mowgli is raised by the thing. My son was raised by women, really, and a bit like Mowgli, the man cub. And his wife, I'm going to try not to cry now, because She's the daughter I would have had if I could have chosen. I wanted loads of kids. My life didn't turn out as it was. You know, it wasn't part of my plan if I'd have had a plan. They say God laughs at people who makes plans, but yeah, he was really having a bit of a belly laugh at me at that point. But, you know, I wanted 4 children. Things went a little bit awry. I ended up with one amazing one, so that's fine. And then he married his best friend from school who'd already had a child. I mean, it's just a beautiful story. She's amazing. And she once said to me, she said, you can tell a man, and I'm probably going to get it completely wrong because this is what I do, but you can tell a man who's been raised, no, a man who treats his girlfriend like a princess has been raised by a queen. Aww. And I thought, well, that's all right. I'll take that. So I haven't got a crown or anything, but I felt pretty good about that. So, you know, my thought of that is he was shown, I don't think we were a dysfunctional family because it was just me and him. You know, I've got so many funny stories I could tell you because I feel like laughter is the best medicine. But my mum, bless her, she used to look after him one night a week just to give me a bit of a break. And do you remember a guy called Steve Backley who used to do the Head and Shoulders? He was an athlete of some kind of, I don't know if he was a javelin thrower or something. And he used to do this advert on the telly that he used to say, oh, I'm like Steve Backley, I just wash and go. I think it was for Head and Shoulders. And my mum had run the bath, she could, bless her, she used to run me a bath on those and cook me a bit of dinner just so I could just sleep and have a bit of a break. And she said to Ben, she said, shall I put bubbles in your mum's bath? And he went, no, don't put bubbles in tonight because she only washes her hair every other night. And it's hair wash night tonight. And he knew me so well. And he was laying in the bath saying, I'm just like Steve Backley. I just wash and go. And but I've got loads of funny stories like that. And his childhood to me now is a beautiful memory. And I'm not sure it would have been such a beautiful memory if the household would have been as crap as it potentially could have been. So my advice to you is, do what you've got to do. You know, do what makes you happy, do what makes your child happy, be a functional parent rather than, and I'm not saying I'm the perfect parent by any stretch, and as one lady said, there is definitely not a book, but do what you know what's right. You'll know when the time comes whether that's right or not. And then so after my teaching, I taught for ages, and then I have always loved things bookish, so I started writing about 13 years ago. It's 14 books I've written, actually. Thank you. And the other thing I would say to you is now I mentor people to write and I help them to publish their books. I started my publishing company in 2021 in the middle of the pandemic, and I've now published over 30 authors. And one of the things that really helped me, this is my takeaway for today, is to have a creative outlet. And whether that is writing or whether it's reading or whether it's Bollywood or whether it's, you know, find something for you that allows you to express you as yourself, and something that brings you joy. Just do it because it brings you joy. And great things might come from it. Ordinary things might come from it, but you know, it's good for you to have something that's good for and writing is so cathartic. It's really good for your mental health and well-being, and it's a very good form of expression. So those are my takeaways. Do what makes you happy, do what makes your little people happy, and do something for you. And the funny thing about that is my writing now, I write what they call chick lit. And there's a lot of characters in my books who I've met along the way, some of the stories. So I'm always watching for the next character. So there you go, he's in. A friend of mine once said, am I in any of your books? And I said, if you are, it's probably not a good thing because I've probably taken the mickey at some point, so maybe not. But my takeaway for today is one size does not fit all. Believe in yourself and you know, who else said you get one life? So don't spend your child's life and your life miserable because you do not get a medal at the end of it for your sufferance. I'm sorry to tell you, no one will say to you, well done, your life was terrible, but at least you stuck with it. So, and if you want to know a bit more about writing and you think that could be I do a lot of mindful writing, I do a lot of writing mention. If you think that might be something that let's face it, we've all got a story to tell, haven't we? In this room, there's probably some fantastic stories. So if that's something that interests you, I'll give you a card and you'd be welcome to get in touch. But thank you for a very inspiring day. Thank you.